Hi everybody, Jim Benson here from Personal Kanban and Modus Institute. And in our gold call the other day that we have on our Personal Kanban class online at Modus Institute, we got this question that basically said, I've got a couple of projects and a lot of things to do, but there really isn't a clear way for me to prioritize them. Everything seems to be about the same level of importance, and I've just got a block of work and I've got to get it done. What are some techniques I can use to pull something first? So here perhaps we have our options column and our doing column, and those things are saying, okay, we've got some work coming up and we can, we're finishing this, and now we have to pull something else from here. What do I do other than just arbitrarily pull something? And first thing I would say is it is okay to arbitrarily pull something, right? So what you might do initially is look in here and say, all right, I'm pretty indifferent about which ones of these things I do next. So maybe actually you don't pull anything at all and you just finish another thing that you're already working on. There you go. But the other thing is, okay, so let's say I've done that a couple of times and I'm still indifferent about what to work on next. You can look in there and say, okay, well, what's going to take me the least amount of time? So this one's going to take me the least amount of time. I'll get that one done, And so you can do that for a while. But there are other ways that we can do this as well. So, we've talked before about pre-prioritizing things into kind of a priority filter. So this might be your options column with things that were priority 3, priority 2, and priority 1. And what we've done here in the priority filter is we've actually whip limited the number of things that you can call priority 1. So now you don't end up with an options column here with a whole bunch of things in it that you're indifferent about. Now you just have a few things here that you're indifferent about, and that makes it a little easier to choose because you're just choosing between 3 things, right? So that's kind of the first one, kind of the easiest one. You may also want to look and say, okay, well, I've got these things that are coming up, and I want to find out like which of these things is easy to do, which of these things are more complicated to do, which have a lot of complexities or unknowns in them, and then you can make a decision. Do I want to pull something that I want to think a lot about today, or do I want to just pull something and I want to work on it and get it done, again, pretty quickly? So you can make a decision that way based on the amount of complexity that the ticket has. Or you can say like, okay, well, how many unknowns are there? How many things are there out there that I need to investigate? Or how wrong might this task go, even if I'm indifferent about doing it? So if you're indifferent about doing a bunch of tasks, you say, okay, well, I'm going to pull a couple of easy ones first, and then later on I'm going to pull one still indifferent about it in terms of its priority, but I know that this one has a lot more unknowns in it. It's going to cause me more work. So you can start thinking about it kind of that way, and how much the task is actually going to make you think. Or you can say, okay, well, I've got these tasks coming up, and these are all also equally weighted, but these tasks I'm doing by myself, and these tasks here I'm doing with other people. Right? So you can say, okay, so I'm doing this with Tony Ann, I'm doing this with John, I'm doing this with Tony Ann and John, and I'm doing this with other people outside the company. And I know that John's not available today, so that means that these 2 tasks are now able to be pulled, but these 2 are not. So something like that. So you start looking for other characteristics of the work that you have that aren't necessarily how important it is. And every piece of work that you have that you pull in is a relationship. It has other people tied to it. It has value needs that are tied to it. It has, again, difficulty, complexity, a level of unknown, things you have to research. So there's a lot of different ways that you can say, okay, these are all equal importance, but I can actually figure out different ways to do that. The last one here is all about me. This is the all about me column. So it's like, okay, I have these tasks. I feel indifferent about all of them in terms of how important they are to get done, but I hate doing this stuff. I love doing this stuff, and I just feel indifferent about this other stuff. And then you can make a decision at that point. Do I need to do something that makes me happier so I can get kind of a boost, or am I in a pretty good mood and I'm set to do something that might be a little bit more difficult? So those are some other ways that you can take a look at the work that's coming up, before it gets to doing your options, and weigh them for whether or not you want to pull them right now, regardless of whether we get stuck in that trap that we call prioritization. Okay. That's it for today. Thanks for listening, and sign up for the class. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.